Hi everybody, my name is Heather. Welcome back. Today we're going to be making these so cute little mini journals, and I love how they're so little. You can see like on my hand how little they are, and basically they are no sew, and all you need to do is just fold paper to make them. So for mine, I've used 2 sheets of paper folded, and I put a cover on. So that is how I created mine, but I'm going to walk you through the steps. And they're super simple. This one's more of a little bit of a soft cover, and then I didn't decorate the insides yet, but the inside is a digital of mine. It's the tea stained lace papers kit, and I printed on both sides and then folded the papers to make the inside for this one, which is really pretty. And then on this one, it's just tea stained paper on the inside, so I haven't decorated the inside of this one yet. But I'm going to decorate the one that I make with you today, and we're gonna just walk you through step by step, and you can watch me make mine, and then hopefully you'll feel inspired to make one for yourself. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so for this project, all we need is just a standard size sheet of paper, and I'm gonna use some avocado dyed paper that I have. You could use tea dyed paper or just regular white copy paper, whatever you like. If you decide to use printables, like you could use printables to do this, kind of like I showed you in that little rose book. I would just recommend printing on both sides. And then also another tip is, for the first time that you make this, like to practice, I would just get any kind of scrap paper or just a piece of printer paper that isn't your pretty paper before you like go ahead and make it. So get your paper, just lay it in front of you so that it is going horizontally. And then all we're gonna do is just take the bottom and we're going to fold it up to meet the edge, making sure that everything is lined up really nice and neatly. So I just take my fingers and I go like this on the edges to kind of push to keep those lined up, and then fold in half horizontally. And then you could also take your bone folder and crisp up the edge there. Then you're going to take your paper, open it back up, and you're going to put it vertically in front of you, and then you're going to fold it in half like this, making sure that your edges are nice and evenly folded. Just like that. So yeah, you can just use your nails or bone folder, whatever works. Then you are going to, the part of the paper that is open, you're gonna put that towards the bottom, and then the fold, like the creased part, you're gonna put that towards the top. So you're just gonna lay your paper in front of you like this, with the crease here and the open part down here. Then you're gonna take this first paper, the first fold, and you're going to fold up to meet the middle crease, the middle fold there. And you're just gonna make sure everything is lined up the same as you did before. And then crease. And then when you have that done, you're going to flip this over and fold this section up to meet that middle fold as well. Making sure we're folding it straight, just like that, okay? So then once you have that done, you might have to rewind that and watch that again, because I know like whenever I was first learning, I got a little bit confused, but once you get it, it's really very simple. So then we're just gonna layer paper. It's gonna kind of look like a W. So we're just gonna layer paper in front of us like this. And then what I like to do is the middle of the paper that is creased, I like to take my thumb and grab it there so that the edges of the paper or kind of flaps are on the left side. And then what we're going to be doing is taking our scissors and cutting along this crease here all the way to this section. So I just like to kind of visually give myself where I hold it in my hand with my thumb, and this is on the left. Just making sure that I don't cut anything wrong. Then I take my scissors and I go right along that crease all the way up to that section right there, just like that. Then we're just gonna lay that in front of us again, just like that. And then I'm gonna come in and grab it to fold in the middle so that it kind of looks like a diamond shape, okay? So you can just hold it in your hands like this with the diamond shape there. And then we're just going to push that in, just like that, okay? And once you have that pushed in, we're just gonna grab it and push it together to make our little book, which is so cute. Okay, and then once you have it folded, this is going to be the beginning of our book. So you can take this process and you could just stop here and you could decorate this little bit up a little bit and tuck it inside of your journal, make it a little booklet, whatever. It's just literally, you could have this made in a few seconds, you know what I mean? So if you're making a journal, this is actually a cute little place to stop too. And then when you're turning the pages, you'll notice that these pages are open. There's some that are open. So we're going to be sealing those up, but you can decide whether you would like to leave them open as pockets, like side pockets or bottom pockets, or you could even flip your booklet up and make top loading pockets for tags. I think I have a little tag here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like you could leave that open and only glue the side closed, and then you would have a place for your tags to go in at the top, or you can have a side pocket or even a bottom pocket, which would be cute. So I think the way that I'll make this one is to have the top open. Okay, so now that we have this ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and make a second one. So that way you have two ready to go. This is what's gonna make up our little journal. We're gonna be putting these two together to create the journal. And then eventually this will be, you could actually add as many of these as you like to create a journal. You don't have to just use two, but basically it's kind of like a two signature little mini journal. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these aside, and then we're going to cut out our cover. And then once we have all our pieces together, we'll be ready to put it together. So I'm just gonna be using a piece of cardboard. It's just a scrap piece of cardboard. It's pretty flexible. This journal here, I liked that it has a little spine. So I'm gonna show you how I did that. And this journal has a little bit of a harder cover than this cardboard here. And I would recommend don't use anything too hard, because it makes it a little bit harder to manipulate once you have it together, especially because it's tiny. So go ahead and get your journal, and what we're going to do is we're just going to open our little journal up, just one of the sections. You don't need both. And we're just going to use that as our guide to show us what size we need to cut. And I'm just leaving a little bit of a space here, a little bit of a space here, and a little bit of a space here. I'm just gonna get a pen and mark like right where I'd like to cut. And then for this side, I'd like to leave a nice space for my spine. So I'm just gonna maybe leave just a little bit of space there. I'm not gonna measure, I'm just kind of winging it. And I'm just going to leave a mark just like that. Just leaving myself enough room that I can create a spine. So I'll show you how that'll work here in a sec. Get your scissors and just go ahead. I'm not worrying too much if I'm super straight. I'm just gonna cut. And cut yourself out a little square. Then you're gonna take your little journal and you're gonna put it in here like this, and then line it up so that it gives just the tiniest bit of extra on there. And then all we're gonna do is fold the first fold of the spine just at the end of the journal. So just like that. And as you can see, we have some space left. So then the next thing we're gonna do is, now that you have your fold, which allows you, like, you know, the width of your journal, then I'm just gonna come in and give myself another little fold, lining up this edge here, okay? So I'm just kind of trying to gauge where I'd like to fold that. And then just fold it so that this edge still lines up and you still have a little bit of a spine. I'm not really too worried about this spine being super perfect, because I'm going to be covering everything with fabric and paper. So let's put our little journal in here. Let's see. How did we do this? Yeah. So I feel like this is just a little bit too, like, coming out too far. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of that edge off. And I'm going to trim a tiny bit of this one off too. So basically you're just trimming it to the size of your journal, however you like that. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So the next step is we're gonna piece all of these things together. So you're just gonna go ahead and get your glue. I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac glue for this. I think Fabri-Tac glue is a good choice because it will dry really quickly and it'll get your journal assembled very quickly. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just glue these two together. So that's how we're gonna attach these two pieces together. You're going to take a piece of glue. You're gonna take a little bit of glue and just put it on the front of this section. And then we are just going to put this one right over top, making sure that our spines line up nice. And just tack it down with your fingers so that everything is adhered. And remember, we still have these pieces open at the top, which we will come in and glue. So once you have that nice and glued, then these two pieces are together like this. So then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna seal up these extra pieces. So you wanna decide like whether or not you want to come in with your top pocket like I showed you, or like a side pocket. So I'll just kind of, for this one, I'm gonna seal up the top, especially because that's the first page. And as you can see, this is not even here, even though I folded so carefully. But that's okay, we're gonna be adding lots of stuff to the inside. And then for this one, I think I will seal up the sides. Like that. And then you can just continue to go through your book and do that. You don't even have to leave any pockets. You could just glue the pages completely shut if you like, okay? So just continue to do that and then you'll be ready. Then we're gonna take our cover, and how we're gonna attach it to the cover is we're gonna glue the front to the front of there and then the back to the back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a little bit of glue, put it along the edges to make sure that everything is going to be nice and adhered. Then I'm gonna line that up with the back. I like to make sure I push down so that it's nice and like into the spine. And then take this section and we're gonna glue this section next. We're not gonna put anything on the spine itself, just the front and back covers. Once you get the hang of this, you can make a bunch of these in a short amount of time. So just make sure everything is nice and adhered, like that. And then now we have our cutest little journal. Some of that glue was sticking. This center page, I want to make sure that I seal up pretty good where we connected. So any little bits that are kind of unfolding or peeking out, just go ahead and glue them together to get your page. And there is our cute little journal. I love this so much. So then the next step is we're gonna cover the cover and add some decorations to the inside and make it into a really cute journal. So like I said, you could make a bunch of these. Like I've sat here and made a bunch of these over, like the other day I sat and made a couple of these, and they're just so simple to make and like a really fun addition to a bigger journal, or just as its own little mini journal that you can throw in your purse. So I'll be back in a sec and we'll start with decorating. Okay, so for the decorating part, I wanted to use this really beautiful piece of sari trim that I have, and I thought that it would look so beautiful as the spine. So I'm going to be putting it along the spine like that. I love the idea of it giving a little sparkle along the spine, and it's just kind of busy. I mean, it would be really beautiful as the cover itself as well, but I'm just gonna go for it on the spine. And I had some of these, I had pulled out a few of these little papers, but these little tickets here, I had some, and it just so happens that it's about the same size as the cover here. So I think I'm going to use that little ticket and use this beautiful sari trim to cover the spine, and that is going to be like the basis of my cover. I just think it looks so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the decorating part, but if you have any kind of sari trims or fabric or even velvet would be really pretty. And then I have some embossed papers, and just I have a whole bunch of little scraps that I have pulled out from all over my craft room. Like in here, I have this bin filled with papers and different pieces of doilies and pictures and wallpaper and ledgers and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start decorating the inside of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it to music, and then you guys can just watch my process. I hope that if there's anything that I do that inspires you to create one for yourself, I hope you enjoy it, and just feel free to use your own scraps, the things that you have, and just little touches inside will go a long way because it's so little. So I hope you enjoyed this process, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna put the video to music now. you.